Today we are making the quickest and most unique quilt block ever. Blink and you'll miss it. It is that quick to make. And let's get sewing. There's actually no pattern. You don't need one. The only rule here is when you're picking fabrics, pick fabrics that work together well. That's it. This is how we start. I like to do it with a centerpiece in the middle and then go around, kind of like a flower, you know? This is the flower bud, and then we're going to add all the teeny tiny little petals. Yeah, let's start. Let's make this easy, guys. Let's start with this one, okay? So what we do is we put them one on top of the other and we sew directly onto our base fabric. Let's just pin this to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. I do not use the 1/4 inch foot for this, only because the 1/4 inch guide sometimes gets stuck on the fabrics that we're using. So I much rather prefer to use a regular foot and make sure everything goes smoothly, okay? We can always change the shape of our pieces. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to make this a little bit diagonal, and that's exactly why I don't use the 1/4 inch foot, because this would get stuck right there. Okay, let's sew. I think it's better to chop this up and just, you know, save it as scraps for different projects. And there we go. I love this fabric. This is an awesome Anna Maria Horner fabric that I love. I don't have it anymore, and I'm very sorry about that, because this is gorgeous fabric. I have to see if I can still find some and put it here. We are making an 18 by 18 quilt as you go quilt block. Some people call it stitch and flip, and I'm not sure if there's a difference. And if you guys know, can you please let me know in a comment below? Thank you. And yes, I am fully aware that as I cut into the scraps, I am making more scraps for my pile. To be honest, I have so many scrap projects in my mind wanting to come out that I think that I kind of need all those scraps. I'm not sure what I'm going to do when I run out of scraps, so yeah, it's a good thing I'm making them. The trick to using the thread cutter on your machine without your thread leaping out when you're trying to stitch next is to have the needle down and the foot down as well. Before you start to sew, it just sticks the thread in place and it doesn't get pulled up once you start sewing again. So give it a try. Very, very cute. I spend more time sorting fabrics than I do actually sewing. And this is where sorting my fabric scraps comes in handy, because I have a display, a full display of big strips, and I just need to pick one. Guys, I can't talk to you when I'm sewing. Look at this. What the heck is this? What? Are you laughing at me, Mike? That's mean. Guys, I am loving this. I love these kinds of projects that, you know, for the most projects you make, well, when you're quilting or whatever it is, you can kind of see how it's going to look once it's over. Not with this one, let me tell you, because I haven't even sorted the fabrics before. I'm just taking them out and sewing them, which is very cool, very relaxing, and very unpredictable. So it is a lot of fun. If you're thinking, oh, this is a weird angle, just cross it, right? Just put some fabric over it and cross it. I am having a blast. If you don't have too much time to do this with, or if you just don't want to, if you're impatient, use bigger scraps. You know, the bigger scraps you use, the quicker it will be to fill out all this surface, so the quicker you'll be done. For me, I like to start with really tiny ones and then expand, much like petals. You know, for me, this is a perfect analogy. The petals on a flower get bigger as they go out, and this is exactly what I'm looking for. Also, don't be afraid to cut into fabrics, okay? If you have a piece that you think will look perfect in a certain place, but that means cutting off like half of the fabrics that are already in there, if it works for you, if it looks cute, do it, okay? Do whatever you feel like it. We want to make sure we catch all the seams, okay? We don't want any seams showing. These pieces aren't meant to be, you know, whole, and the weirder the shapes we create, the better. You know, the more you can see the details and the more fabrics you get to add to this project, the cuter it will be, because you can look at all the teeny tiny fabrics and notice all the tiny details. So yeah, cut the fabric, cut it in half, do whatever you need to do to get yourself out of the corner that you got yourself into with your sewing. I know I've had a few so far. Yeah, just do it. There are no rules for this, guys, okay? We can do whatever we want as long as it works and as long as there isn't any kind of seam exposed once we're done, or, you know, white space, of course. If you have sewn yourself into a corner with your scraps, just go for the bigger pieces and they pretty much make everything even. We have so many cute details in this as it is, so many cute fabrics, so I think we can make life easier for ourselves now. And when you look at it, do you see the flower I was talking to you guys about? You know, the center and then all the petals around, kind of like a rose. You know, each petal that's entwined with the other, with the next one. This is what I'm going for here, and I think I can see it. Again, very surprising. This is not what I imagined it would look like, but then again, I already knew it wouldn't because, you know, I had no idea how this would look, if I'm honest. So this one is done. There we go. And we are pretty much going to finish as we started with our little owls. We're going to need one more here, but for now, this is where I want it. You know, you can just keep going, you know, you can add random pieces all across. As long as it's from one point to the other, you're good. But for me, I am good to go and I cannot wait to move on to my next step. We are just going to chop all these extra bits of fabric, okay? All these extra scraps we're going to add to our collection. Are you ready to see how cute this is going to be? I hope. Look at this. Guys, was this not worth it? Oh, this was totally worth it. Now, I'm thinking I could add a little bit of another fabric to that spot over there. Go, let's trim this again real quick. So this is what we have to work with. And have you guessed what I'm making with it? A nice, colorful, one-of-a-kind, unique pillow that I'm going to gift to someone very special, very one-of-a-kind as well. We're not going to do any piping, none necessary. This is potent and colorful enough, okay? So let's just get out some fabric for the back. We need 2 18 pieces of this, and I am making them 18, okay? Because I want it to be nice and stuffed. If you've never made a pillow cover, I am about to blow your mind with how easy this is to make. Because it really is really, really easy. We fold it once, you can press it in place if you prefer, and we fold it again. And we pin, and we sew, and that's it. This is a nifty little trick I have with pillows. I buy the cheapest ones, and what I do is I make the pillow covers smaller. And that way, it doesn't really matter that it's a crappy pillow that doesn't have a lot of air. Since the pillow cover is smaller, it will still look really nice and puffy and round. We get our pillow top right here, and then we get right sides together, okay guys? So one, so the seam is in the middle, and the seam is in the middle once again. And now we just sew all around it, guys. That's it, okay? You can reinforce your seams where the fabrics meet, but other than that, that's all we need to do. Even though I'm pinning it here, I'm going to sew it on this side to make sure I don't miss any part of it. Excesses that we won't be needing. Oh, I cannot wait to see how this looks. I had so much fun. And this is what we're left with. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a blast and I'll see you soon. Bye bye!